This is the Blind Point Play Podcast, the Die Hard Duke Basketball Fans Podcast. 48 hours after that game, it takes a long time to kind of digest what you actually watched. You got a lot of emotions immediately after. You try to let it set it in. And I know AC after that game that I was pretty hot. I hate losing to Carolina. I thought that my initial reactions after watching that game, before even hearing John Shire, Jeremy Roach, Jared McCain talk after the game, it was kind of the same. I thought that we were the better team, but the effort didn't match up. And so when you're trying to, I'm just going to get my piece real quick, and then we got our boy Zion on, so we're going to get to him. But my piece real quick is that it was an emotional game against the number 3 team in the country at their place in a naturally arch rival game where the emotions are elevated to levels unknown. Carolina brought the energy. They maintained it for basically 40 minutes. We had our spurts where we had energy, but I didn't think that we matched it, and apparently neither did Shire, neither did Jared McCain, neither did Jeremy Roach. So those are things that hopefully we can fix before we play them again March 9th, but also before we play Notre Dame on Wednesday. So we'll get to all of our reactions. We're going to break this game down. We're going to talk about some fan overreactions, and then we'll preview the Notre Dame and Boston College game. But first things first, Zion, appreciate you joining us. It's not the way we wanted to bring you on, Zion. We wanted to do it after a win, but we appreciate you being a trooper and coming on here. Kind of what are your I gave my quick 30-second elevator pitch of my reactions. What say you, coming kind of, letting the game sink in after a couple of days?
Yeah. First off, I appreciate y'all for, inviting me, AC. Always, like I said, I told you, always got respect for what y'all do. Glad you are building up for sure. My initial reactions, I think I kind of touched on it post game a little bit and, just a little bit on Twitter. I don't think I'm as mad as, I could be over a UNC loss. I think, TK hit it on the head. It's always bad to lose to UNC. And, it's always bad to be in the rivalry and kind of, see the reactions of UNC fans flooding your mentions constantly after a game like this. But I think, at the end of the day, kind of like I told y'all before the show, I felt like we played out of character. Effort wasn't there for the most part. The turnovers, a team that, has typically been good with keeping the ball in their possession, turn the ball over consistently. And I do feel like a lot of it was unforced turnovers. It wasn't UNC, although UNC gets a lot of credit for their defense. I don't feel like, that was a situation where UNC was just like outplaying us defensively. But, I think we had a lot of good moments, at least from Jeremy McCain. Jeremy Roach did what he did. I mean, you can't really ask for more, especially a guy just still coming back off an injury. And yeah, I thought, we could have got more out of our sophomore class, of course, specifically Tyrese, Mark Mitchell, although Tyrese did a great job defensively on RJ Davis. Flip obviously was, ended up 22. I think 9 of 17 it was a stat line. He the numbers look good, but I think we still could have got more out of him, especially defensively. But yeah, overall, I felt like it wasn't a red flag game. Just to make it a quick story, short. I can't even speak right now. Long story short, I think we played out of character for the most part. I would have liked to see like us attack Baycott more on ball screens. That was something I pointed out in the game. Put some pressure on him defensively to guard more, but I think it'll be a different situation come end of year in Cameron. So I'm not tripping completely off this game.
Yeah, fair. D, I want to bring you in here. I want to get your reactions. First, kind of anything that you wanted to say about this game that maybe Zion and myself hadn't brought up yet.
No, I mean, not really. Effort was a big one. I kept screaming effort all day. I will say UNC rebounds the ball really, really well. Duke did too that game. That was a positive sign. I think all of us said that our guards are going to have to hit the glass. All of our guards hit the glass. Um, you got to tip your cat or tip your hat to Ingram, man. Like he shot the ball really, really well when given the opportunity. And I think it comes down to shot making. I mean, if just look at that. If Duke if Duke's shooters hit shots, this is a different outcome.
AC, I'll let you take it from there.
No free throws attempted in the first half, and I'm not blaming the refs. I'm just saying we could have done more work probably on the pick and roll, probably getting Armando out in space a little bit better to try to get some opportunities at the free throw line, and then a 10-0 advantage on points off turnovers. I think that is the story of this game because at that point we played them shot for shot after they went up 10-0 on turnovers. So we lose the game by 10 points. We were down by 10 in the first half. I mean, that in my opinion, that's the biggest story because at that point now you're playing shot for shot. We were down 10. Now you gotta do something creative to try to stack stops. We weren't able to do that. Not saying we didn't try. Not saying that schematically what we did might not work the next time we play them. It's just we weren't able to make it work because at that point they were too confident, too far ahead. We were gassed trying to make the comeback. When you're trying to make comebacks like that, man, it's you're tired for sure. So stacking stops is big when you're down by 10 points, and we played them shot for shot at that point once we went down on that turnover margin. So cut down on the turnovers the next time, force more turnovers the next time against them because they're a team that likes to turn the ball over, and we didn't do that. It's a totally different game, bro. I ain't tripping on this loss, man. We said it during spaces. This is one that you gotta. This is a look inward type of loss and see what you have for the rest of the season mentally to get through the grind.
Yeah, Pablo, we always, go to you for our inspiration. You try to give the people at the end of the spaces on Saturday night a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration. Talk to the Duke Nation, but also, kind of elaborate on what the coaching staff can do for, these players, maybe it's individuals, maybe it's as a collective. What can they do to get to a point where there isn't inconsistent effort or the body language issues that I know that you brought up. Kind of touch on that.
Yeah, so I just think that, you know, as a coach and coaching staff and just his leadership, there's a lot of different things you could do, you know what I mean? But, when you're dealing with kids, 18 to 22 years old or whatever the case may be, you're always going to have this up and down slides and swings in different directions. So I'm not really, I think we're fine. You know what I mean? I really think we're fine. I think I only seen really one thing on the court, like from a player that I kind of was like, he needs to be talked to. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I already discussed that. I don't even won't even mention it. But other than that, I think everybody was fine. I think overall I think the game really came down to North Carolina was just they're just more connected than we are. You know what I mean? At this point, not saying that we can't get there because talent wise, we're better. You know what I'm saying? Can we beat them? Absolutely. But as far as being a connected team, I think they're a couple steps ahead of us. And, maybe that's because they got guys that's been playing basketball for 26 years at North Carolina. So,
I was just
I
about to
mean, it
say, bro,
happens.
this
You know what
kind
I
of felt
mean?
like the
So,
age gap was a big deal, right?
yeah. And I mean, it showed. I mean, some of the experience it showed out there, but I still think that you know what I mean. Like at the end of the day, I'm inspired. I think that we good. I don't think that I think people overreact sometimes, but a lot of the overreactions I see is people that probably, i.e., never played basketball or just armchair shit all the time, and they just say shit. So I don't really trip. Duke Nation, we good. Don't worry about it. We gonna be okay. Just know that we got y'all.
Jack, I'll give you the final word of this opening segment, and then we'll kind of open it up and really break it down into some different points, a lot of them that the AC made in the spaces, but I wanted to elaborate on a few. But, Jack, kind of give your overall reactions to what you watched and how you feel right now.
I don't feel too bad. Obviously the game itself sucked to watch in that there was so many preventable things. The thing that really hurts, like Zion said, is, just seeing all the UNC fans in your mentions. That was annoying. For some reason, the UConn fans were after me. I don't know why, but they were. I just wanted to bring that up. Yes, I see you. You are the number one team in the country and reigning national champion, and you haven't played us since 2014, so I don't know what you're doing in my mentions, but good for you, I guess.
Go get ready for Rice, UConn.
Yeah,
You have
please.
to play Rice next or something.
I don't know, but back to the actual game. I think there were a lot of like stupid things that happened that were preventable. I think it came down to turnovers, lazy transition defense, and the free throw disparity. Not to say that it was the Zebras, but Roger Ayers is Roger Ayers. Not to say that the referees are the reason we lost. They are not, but those, I think, the lazy transition defense, turnovers, just dumb turnovers more than anything, and the free throw disparity are the three big things that stand out to me as to why we lost. I think Duke outplayed Carolina in every other aspect of the game. I'm intrigued to see what happens March 9th. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be a very different game.
Yeah, Zion. I tend to have some, overreactions in the heat of the moment, and
Yes,
certainly
you
act,
do.
and
Yeah, dude.
certainly
I
acted
thought
in.
you.
But
Hey,
I own those.
Man,
But
I
I
thought
own
you were
those.
gonna burn all your Duke stuff or something. I didn't know what
No,
was
I
gonna
never do
happen.
that. I always hold our guys to a higher standard than anything else. And one of my overreactions, I think, was that now thinking back on it, my initial thought was that we beat ourselves in that game, which probably didn't give enough credence to the fact that Harrison Ingram and Bacon played phenomenal. They did, and so that's that. But Zion, like you mentioned this, there were a lot of unforced turnovers. They led to a ton of line ball buckets, and a couple of them are corner threes. You get a couple of those back. You get a couple of those loose balls, and it's a completely different ball game, and the pressure goes to them. So overall, like what are some of the more logical, sensible reactions that you should take from this game as a Duke fan?
this is a question to me. My bad.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay. In terms of your overreactions, I think it's okay sometimes overreact. That's the nature of being a fan. Um, but yeah, logical senses. Are we talking from a positive aspect or a negative aspect?
I think both. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you got to be real when you're evaluating the team, how we play, how
Yeah.
we've played. However you want to take it. Pablo's always positive. That's the one thing I always give. Pablo's positive.
I mean, I feel like the easiest positive aspect, at least, is Jerry McCain. I feel like is built for the big moment, and I've kind of like tweeted this all year, but I felt like even in the moments he's shown, or the games he's had where he may not be shooting the ball well, he's 2 for 9 from three, not shot, can't really find a rhythm offensively. By the end of the game, he'll make a couple plays that'll help you win the game. I think that's a player you could trust in crunch time, regardless, just to make the right play. I think he's kind of shown that over the year, and I think that's big for a freshman. Negative wise, I mean, what's a logical? Because what's negative, once you attach negative to it, it gets dangerous. I feel like we kind of struggle sometimes, just being a smaller team at least, and I think we kind of seen it. We've seen it more when Mark Mitchell's out. That we're gonna struggle with more physical teams. We're gonna struggle with longer teams. So one thing I did mention before the game to one of my boys who's a big Carolina fan, I said I was scared to low key see Harrison Ingram drop to the three. He was like, "Oh, we usually don't play Harrison Ingram at the three. He usually plays the four." And I was like, "There's an easy advantage if you put him at the three because he's going to be matched up against a smaller player,
Smaller
whether it's
player.
McCain, Roach, or Proctor." But Proctor had the assignment on RJ Davis most of the game. I think that's that's a worry for me just because we already lack the athleticism. And, if you run into a bigger physical team where we've seen, obviously, Arizona was a little bit too early in the year, but, that's something we may not be able to overcome on the wrong day. I'm still in the belief that this team has enough guard play to make a run in March. I say that's a positive takeaway, a logical takeaway. I think, at the end of the day, I still think we have the deepest guard rotation in America. Having Caleb Foster as a fourth option, maybe you could say UConn rivals that, but I'm still rolling with Duke in that aspect. So I think that's a takeaway as well. We need our guards to play well, but when they are playing well, I don't feel like there's a team that could beat us. So those are my logical takes.
No, I mean that's similar to what we said, AC, in the last podcast leading up to this. Is I think our guards are the best guards in the country. We didn't necessarily play like that. Obviously, Jared and Jeremy Roach did. But to your point, though, you actually, AC, were talking about Mark Mitchell. I know Dee brought this up quite a bit on this podcast. That Mark Mitchell is the one indispensable guy that we have on this team, and if he's not playing to a level that we need in a huge game, that makes us more susceptible to losing.
It is, and we have 5 bits of evidence right now in terms of 5 losses where Mark was either not available or didn't play well when he was in the game. And not to say he didn't play well against UNC. I think he had some decent moments, but his assignment was Harrison Ingram at times, and that got away from him. So I think that's pretty much set in stone now, right? Like I think we pretty much know that Mark Mitchell, being that kind of lengthy Swiss Army knife on a team, like Zion just said, that is small on the smaller end, which we can and have shown that we can overcome that. But on the wrong night, like you just said, on the wrong night, that's difficult to do without Mark Mitchell really playing one of those high level Mark Mitchell games. And I think that's the difference there, unless, and I'll go back to this and beat this horse to death. And it might be the exact wrong thing to do or whatever else. I'm not even going to pick out schematically what we need to do right now with it, but unless we find some way to get a little bit more creative on defense to kind of hide our bigs and give them the ability to kind of rest a little bit on defense, unless we kind of get creative in that aspect, we're going to have some games like this where teams are just going to go nuts scoring and put us in some bad matchup situations. So, and Mark he's such a good Swiss Army knife that it's difficult for teams to make that switch happen. That Saturday night was an example of they exploited it and made it work well for them.
Yeah, Pablo, I'll go to you on that because I know that you have some feelings on schematically what we could do. I know the big argument may have proved AC right a little bit, but the big argument going into that game was where does Mark Mitchell play defensively? Does he play on Baycott? Does he play on Ingram? Kind of, after watching that game a couple of times now, where do you see where they were able to exploit us, and to AC's point, what can we do to counter that going forward now that the blueprint's there for teams that have that ability like UNC?
Yeah, so we know. I completely disagree with AC for sure about putting Mark on Baycott. That's a death sentence. I'm gonna tell you that now. But that's how I feel. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing too is that Mark Mitchell Ingram matchup. How many times did Ingram score on Mark Mitchell? It wasn't a lot.
No.
It wasn't a lot at all, but you got to think about it, right? Like North Carolina, the way that they play their offense is they want to create advantages in almost everything they do. And that's what they did. They got switches, you know what I'm saying? They knew that Duke was going to double down. They was going to do different things, double teaming. They was going to hit the open man who most of the times was Ingram. He would get a wide open 3. So it's just, basketball is basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's adjustments that's being made in game. You got to counter those, and then when you do counter, there's another adjustment being made. So it's just going to go back and forth, man. And it's almost like a chess match, especially when you playing a game like against North Carolina. Hubert Davis, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all got to, people got to start saluting Hubert Davis. He's doing a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a hell of a job. A lot of people say he can't coach and all this other bullshit, but at the end of the day, shit, we ain't no D1 coaches. You know what I'm saying? All we doing is we talking about it, from the sideline, and it's all good. But I just think that, man, I don't know, man. I mean, I know how I feel, man. I ain't even gonna say it, but at the end of the day, Mark Mitchell, I don't think he played bad. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't think he played bad. I definitely think he did his job as far as on defense, but we got to think about what John Shire was telling him to do. You know what I'm saying? Think about what the coaching staff was telling him to do. Double down, double down, double down, clog the paint, do different things. You know what I mean? Kind of, play off your man a little bit. They would do that, and all they would do is just run somebody through the lane. And guess when they ran somebody through the lane, guess who had to pick them up? Mark Mitchell. And guess who that left open? Harrison Ingram. Swing the ball, open 3-pointer. It's simple shit, man. It's 1 + 2 is fucking 3. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was, bro. Like,
and maybe
it's
wrong to say Mark having a bad game. Maybe the better way to say it is Mark. Maybe the way to say it is Mark having not having an effective game, not putting his fingerprints on the game. When that dude puts his fingerprints on the game, we beat every single team in the country. That's my point on that whole thing.
So when you say that, though, like when you say,
I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm not saying he playing bad.
From a statistic, you talking about from a statistical
No, I ain't
standpoint?
talking about statistically. I'm talking about he's able to take away your best switch. He's able to play secondary defense on your best post player. He's able to take you down in the paint on offense. He's able to play off the short roll and be that secondary offensive up. I'm talking about all those things that he's done that we've talked about extensively on this podcast that make us one of the best teams in the country. Without him being there for that, we are not one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion. That's all.
I got you.
I might have been exactly wrong. I probably am exactly wrong saying put. Real quick, I'm gonna shut up. I'm probably exactly wrong saying to put Mark Mitchell on Baycott. However, could we have played a zone and it been effective?
Yeah.
Georgia Tech did it for an entire stretch of game. They at the 10-minute mark in the first half, all the way through the rest of that game, Georgia Tech did it and beat them. Is that the way? I'm just saying, is that the way to slow UNC down, keep them down in possession because they're not an efficient team. They aren't. Keep them down in possessions, make them really ineffective, and then they don't get those breeze cuts. They don't get those easy moves and dives to the basket that they like to get, and you force them to shoot standstill threes from spots that they don't like to shoot them from. You make Cormac Ryan the shooter that he's not. You make Elliot Cadeau shoot when he doesn't want to do it. Like, is a zone an effective way to beat that team in particular? And is that something that you can see this Duke team employing when they play teams like that? That's my question.
Well, I mean, I hear you.
That's what I'm talking about being creative. That's all I'm talking about.
I feel you, but it goes back to just coaching. You know what I'm saying? And like, can you rebound out of that zone? Can you rebound out of your area? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Can we do that?
I don't think.
Yeah, we
I
probably
personally
can.
With the guards and Mitchell and Flip, I think we can rebound out of a zone. But we haven't seen it. We haven't done it. So how can we say yes or no, right?
Yeah, that's why I asked the question. I said, can we do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, sure. You know what I'm saying? I think we can try anything, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying though. Like, for Mark Mitchell to be effective, what are they telling him? What are they telling him to do on offense? Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't see a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? Nope. He still had 10 and 7 or some shit like that, 12 and 7. You know what I mean? So, like, statistically, he was okay. You know what I mean? We could have used 15 and 10, you know what I mean, for sure. But at the end of the day, like, what are they telling him to do? You know what I mean? And that's what I think as fans, sometimes we got to take a step back and we got to understand, like, hey, he's not being effective for whatever reason. It's probably because of what his coach is telling him to do. Because Pablo can't tell him, hey, Mark, go fucking high pick and roll. Shit, I'm not there. I'm not on staff. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, no, AC. I'm with you. Like 85%.
It's just like saying,
you can tell Mark this stuff.
With the 0-1 team, if you didn't have Battier playing all over the floor, then you don't win a title with that squad. And that was proven the year after with the squad that lost to Indiana. So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is a lot of national championship teams have that one piece. Justice Winslow, you know, we can keep naming it. Have that one piece that really is just transcendent from everything else, can just go above and beyond the scouting report because of the different things they can do on the floor. That's all I'm saying.
Remember when we talked about it,
I'm saying Mark Mitchell is so good that he's one of those pieces. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving the dude credit. I'm saying he's that good of a player.
But you know the biggest thing that we missing real quick is just like we talked about on-court leadership. And I'll leave it alone. Go ahead, TK.
Effort.
You got it.
Effort. Can I talk about stats for a second?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So Ingram played 38 minutes, and I'm not a D1 coach. Everybody knows that. But I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to stop the dude who's shooting 8 for 12 from the floor. And I beg Duke all week, please don't let Harrison Ingram beat you. Baycott's going to get his. Davis is going to get his. We do not need Ingram to score 20 plus. And look what happened. Scored 20 plus. Duke scored 84 points, and I say this all the time, like I'm beating a horse. Duke scores 80 plus. It's going to take a fantastic fucking performance from any other team to beat them. And it came down to shot making. These stats look exactly the same except the 3-point disparity. 5 for 19 does not cut the nope. You were brought to Durham to shoot the ball from the 3-point line. I'm going to need you to shoot the ball from the 3-point line and be a threat from the 3-point line. Mark played well. I think he could have been a little more aggressive. And I clearly
on offense, right? On offense,
I
right?
think on defense too. You got 5 fouls to give, man. Don't go
I
to
feel
the
you.
don't go to the locker room with now giving one. Like make Ingram make 3 of these from the line. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, Ingram shot 0 free throws. So
He was in the zone, bro.
That just tells me one thing. But why? So if you're in the zone for 40 minutes, why don't we? What again? Not a D1
He was
coach,
open.
but I don't think
He was open. That's why.
There's my
Yeah.
point. I don't think it takes a rocket
Catch and
scientist to
shoot.
be like, you know what we should do? We should probably guard him tonight. Maybe not tomorrow night, but tonight we need to guard Ingram. And I don't know. For 40 minutes, they refused to guard Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zion, just kind of react to that. Did you think that it was something there that, Duke just refused to change their game plan?
I would say in terms of guarding Ingram, I will say 2 of his threes. What did he hit? 5 threes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 of his threes came off of 50-50 balls, diving for loose balls, and he found a way to get open. I mean, I think it goes back to doubling Baycott. Once we kind of I forgot who said it here. Once Mark Mitchell kind of doubled down, he has to guard whoever's diving to the rim. Erson Ingram finds an open shot. I think it was a lot of undiscipline as well, but I would factor in luck in there too, with the loose balls. But I think the undisciplined defensive lapses came when we were doing things like charging at Elliot Cadeau, who has clearly lost his confidence in his jumper the past 15 games. And those were moments where it's like you got to know your personnel. But I wouldn't fully blame us completely for Harrison Ingram going crazy. So one of the shots he hit was ridiculous. I think it was Roach who guarded him in the corner, hugged him pretty much. I mean, Roach is 6'2", so it's not gonna do much, but he hit some tough shots too, so I give it to him. But I think March 9th will be a different performance for Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't think doubling Baycott worked either, according to the stat sheet. But
I agree.
We might have doubled too much. I think teams this year that have beaten UNC have been effective doubling him on that right block. We extensively went over this in the coach's corner. Double him on the right block. Everywhere else, leave him alone. He's not scoring effectively anywhere else on that floor, other than shutting down his dives. Like double him on the right block. We
Really
doubled him
not.
everywhere. That was too much.
But I do got a
The
question.
amount of doubling on the left block.
I do got
Go
a
ahead,
question
Doc.
for y'all though. Would you next matchup? Would you just guard him 1-on-1? Let him Filipowski and him go at it all game?
I would.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No.
I would.
I would trot in the 3 bigs that we have: Stewart, Mark, and Kyle, and be like, y'all have got to stop this dude and Ingram. Don't let them beat you. Baycott's going to get his 20 plus regardless. Like that's just Baycott. He's done it for 8 years now. Like you know what you're going to get from Baycott. Sorry, like I haven't done this before. My bad. But you know what you're going to get from Baycott. You know what you're going to get from RJ. Don't let somebody else beat you. And I think that they doubled Baycott far too much and left other people open. And the 50-50 balls, that comes down to effort too.
100%.
Go ahead, Jack. I think you had a point. I wanted to touch on that too.
Look, I would just face Baycott one-on-one. I don't think you need to double him. I think he's gonna get his regardless, and that just leaves an extra guy open. And almost on cue, it ended up being Davis more times than I want to remember. He didn't end up getting the ball every time, but when he did, he scored. I was not exactly a fan of that. You know, you can't let the leading scorer, who you've been holding pretty well the entire first half, get a bunch of open looks in the second half because you're doubling. Not a good look, not a good idea. He's not Tyler Hansbrough at the end of the day. Baycott, you can beat one-on-one. You can force him into a stupid shot or a bad pass. I don't know if there's any big, call me crazy, I don't know if there's any big in college basketball that you need to double necessarily. Even Zach Edey, I don't think you need to double.
Go ahead, AC. I know you want to touch on that.
I want to hear what
I think
AC
you can
has to say.
double. I don't give a fuck about Zach Edey. I think with Baycott,
Just making a point.
I think you can still stick to the game plan of doubling him on the baseline, doubling him right block to make him create turnover situations because he's going to throw the ball away or whatever. So he's going to just throw up a horrible shot. I don't think you just fully commit to just going one-on-one against him, but most other parts of the floor, sure, you definitely can play that game. I mean, having a good secondary defender to help out with him is obviously key. It was key last season when Lively was in trouble when we played them the second game when Lively was in foul trouble. Flip playing secondary D on Baycott outside of Ryan Young and outside of Lively was super important in that game. But you funnel the ball elsewhere, like you funnel the ball to other spots, like funnel the ball to Elliot Cadeau, like Zion just talked about. Funnel it to him. If UNC is going to beat you, make it be Mondo having a good game and Cadeau having a good game because those are the two most inefficient players they have on the floor because Mondo's getting you twos, and if you don't foul him, he's not getting to the line. And Cadeau is horribly inefficient right now on offense. Make those guys beat you, and then throw in a little mix of Cormac Ryan, and then you know what I mean. Like, but don't let we did a great job against RJ. Next step, don't let Harrison Ingram go nuts. Like somebody's got to take that matchup personally next time. Somebody's got to be like, I ain't switching. I'm not getting hit by this pick. I'm not letting this happen again. Like somebody's got to take that on. Like straight up. Somebody's got to be like, it ain't gonna be me today. Like because that's ball too. Sometimes in ball, it's you ain't beating me. Yeah, I'm scoring on you, and I'm not letting you score. That's it.
And
Sometimes it's got to be that.
I'm not saying play dirty, but like I said, you got 5 fouls, right?
Make him tired. Bump him. Use your body on him. Make him fatigued. Like you put body on him, he's gonna get tired too. Everybody's gonna get tired.
Yeah, nobody likes getting punched in the mouth, right?
I will say Hubert Davis at least. I think it was Coach who said it. You got to give him his credit because I think even out that post, he started using Cadeau as a screener in the second half. Set up RJ Davis. I think 2 of our dagger threes came off that. I mean, I hate to say it, but Hubert smoked John Sire that game. As much as much as people want to hold back, I think Hubert just smoked him that game. And second game you have to come back and come with adjustments.
I don't know. That Duke missed a lot of open shots. They missed a lot of layups.
I think there were adjustments that should have been made but weren't. But I agree with you on that, D. I think there were shots that should have been made.
5 for 19 from the 3-point line is not going to cut it.
Well, 5 of 19 from 3. Real quick, Pablo. I know you want to talk, but 5 of 19 from 3. That happens sometimes, and that's unfortunate. Obviously, it happened in a big game. What bothered me though is that Kyle Filipowski was 1 of 6 from 3, and even more that bothered me is that Tyrese Proctor didn't attempt a single one. And to me, that is a huge issue for a team that we put up 84 points without our point guard and our guy that's been cooking the last 5 games without him doing anything. He had 2 points. I thought he was extremely passive on offense. I thought when he got blocked by Harrison Ingram on kind of a weak drive looking for a foul early in the first half, he kind of just went away from it. And that can't happen in a huge game. But go ahead, Pablo.
No, I was just going to say, North Carolina was very intentional in what they were trying to do, man. So, if you look at the numbers, right, Baycott's usage is down a lot this year, a lot. Do you know his usage was very high against us? That was intentional. You know what I mean? So if you want him to guard, if you want Filipowski to guard him one-on-one, Filipowski will foul out in the first half. So it's no reason in the world why. I mean, at times, obviously, Filipowski can guard him, every few plays or whatever, let him guard it one-on-one. But when Flip gets tired, what does Flip do? Stupid fouls. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna have him guard him one-on-one, I don't feel confident at all with him. I don't think Filipowski is disciplined enough on defense, and I definitely don't think he has the length. What I mean by length, pause. You know what I'm saying? Wingspan. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking wingspan. Yeah, we do that too. So when I'm talking like wingspan wise, I don't think that Filipowski can. No. So North Carolina's real intentional in what they did. So
Not
they
for
wanted
40
to take
minutes.
Filipowski.
That's why
They wanted to
I
take
don't
Filipowski out of the game.
still don't think
Go
a
ahead,
zone
Ace.
would be a bad move against them. I still don't think a zone would be a bad
Yeah.
move. And not
I agree with you.
from 0 to 40, but in those key spots, second TV timeout segment to end the first half, first couple of segments in the second half, those key points in the game. A little bit of zone sprinkled in, man, ain't gonna hurt you against them, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. I think he just got to mix it up. I think he just got to mix it up, and he just got to throw North Carolina off. If you throw North Carolina off, like every few plays or something, and then go back, man, press, just do different shit. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, like, I don't think we got to do like all this, like, just flip the whole game plan around to win. You know what I'm saying? Not against them, bro. Like, we should have won the game. You know what I mean? And I think
If you make
everybody,
your
pretty
shots, you
much
win.
feels, yeah, and bench points. What they have? What was it? 14-6 or some shit? 12-6.
Yeah.
14
They let Trimble go crazy too.
That's the game right there. Trimble had what, 10 or 11 off the bench?
We
11,
talked about Trimble
12,
in
I
the
think.
coach's corner too, Paz. We talked about Trimble being opportunistic with his
10.
buckets.
Exactly.
Trimble
So that's
played
my thing,
world-class
though, right?
defense
That's the
too. So
game.
shout
That's
out
the
to
game
Trimble.
right there. That's the game right there, though. You know what I'm saying? You take him out the game. That's the 10 points right there. We lost by 9. We win the
That
game.
19 points to 7 points off turnovers. Like again, the turnovers are another big part. That was a huge part
That's the
too.
fact. That's a
And-
fact. No,
Because that led to their transition buckets.
And that really to me was the difference in the game. Is like, yeah, we missed some shots and we probably should have hit. But the live ball turnovers just absolutely smoked us. And then, obviously, England went nuts, whatever. Let's move to some overreactions. Obviously, as Jack and Zion both mentioned, your Twitter mentions it. Anytime Duke loses, but if you're losing to UNC, it's going to be exacerbated that much more. So, one of the overreactions that we saw, and I'll open it up to everybody to give, kind of their 15 seconds on this one, and then we'll open it up. The first one was that this team's inconsistent effort will lead to their downfall. Zion, is that an overreaction, or you think that's justified?
It said, repeat it. I can hear it. It's inconsistent effort.
Yep, this team's inconsistent effort will lead to their downfall.
I don't think it's a crazy overreaction, because I feel like that is consistent with any basketball team. If you don't show effort, you are going to they're going to get run out the gym. So it's like, I feel like it's common sense, but at the end of the day, like I said, I felt like this game was a little bit out of character. So I wouldn't really characterize them as a team that doesn't play with effort more often than not. So yeah, am I supposed to say overreaction or reaction?
I mean, it sounds like you're pretty reasonable, so it might be a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, D, what do you got?
I don't know. I see it both ways. Excuse me. Rebounding, in my opinion, is about effort, and Duke rebounded the ball really well. Loose balls, 50-50 balls is about effort. Don't you dare say Paul.
Yeah.
That's about.
I ain't saying
that's
nothing.
about effort. That's about effort. Those 50-50 balls is about effort. Dive on the floor, get messy. Overreaction. Can we change the word to attitude instead of effort?
You can do whatever you want in this 15
I think because I think there could be some attitudes that need adjusting on this team. I think
like that.
Sometimes they play a little soft. I will say it. Sometimes they play a little soft. They get whiny and they play a little bit soft. So I think some attitudes could be adjusting, and that is not an overreaction.
All right, Jack, what do you got?
I mean, I agree with D. I think effort wise it's there. I think it's the attitude. who's going to show up? Which is the body language going to be there? Is the team going to be picking each other up? That's not effort. That's attitude. And I mean, this is a team I respect and very much enjoy watching these guys. This is a team that was making TikToks over the offseason talking about 2024 national champions. And like I love all their TikToks. I think it's hilarious. I am in that demographic that they are kind of targeting of that like 16 to 25. I'll say that stuff's hilarious, but you can't go super overconfident all summer and then as soon as you hit a little adversity, like just kind of quit on it. I think it's an attitude problem. I think it needs to be a point of focus and adjustment.
Pablo,
I will say the effort part is an overreaction, the attitude part is not.
fair enough. Pablo, where do you stand?
I mean, shit. At the end of the day, I mean, you can't say that they don't play hard. You know what I'm saying? They play hard. You know what I'm saying? But just like I think what D said, pause. You know what I'm saying? Was like the perfect thing. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. You know what I mean? Like changed it from effort to attitude. And I'm only talking about one player. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you're gonna be the best guy on the floor, you know, the captain or whatever the case may be, the leader, you know, the most elite talent on the floor. At the end of the day, you got to play through everything. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting no calls, play through it. You know what I'm saying? You get fouled, play through it. You know, you turn the ball over, play through it. Your man scoring, you play through it. So, you know what I mean? Like all that shit, you know me, all that shit be an overreaction to me. Like these motherfuckers are kids at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like they 18 to 22 years old. They still trying to figure out life, man. So they gonna make these mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I think we just need to stick with them and trusting the coaching staff, man, and trusting these players that they're gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm Duke all the way. I don't give a fuck what happened. Period.
AC, final word.
Yeah, let's not confuse being on the wrong spot on the floor or not necessarily, doing something here or there as effort. Like let's not keep confusing that, because that's the word that's always being used on Twitter is effort, and everywhere else in social media is effort. It's not. Let's not confuse effort with attitude. And a lot of times in press conferences, you can't take what they say as word as gospel, because they're saying things that they're supposed. They're when they answer questions, it's measured. They know exactly how to answer. They prep them beforehand, everything else. However, this game, when you have a freshman and a senior captain both saying players on the team played selfishly and we need to play better together, and then you have the stats to back it up where we only have 8 assists to 10 turnovers, defensive lapses, allowing Carolina to have 18 assists to 5 turnovers. Yeah, somebody's not playing for 5 on the floor. Somebody's playing for 1 on the floor when you have issues like that. So, and I it's not my place to say who, but multiple people, not just one person, is not playing. They're playing for Delph out there. They ain't playing for 5. So you know what I mean? Like these guys have a lot at stake. They got money at stake. They got positioning for their futures at stake. And if any team learned anything, we go back a lot to 14, 15. They all said the same thing. They were like, once they figured out that if they just go on out here and win these games, everything else is going to take care of itself. And I think that's what this team needs to really focus on if they want to win the title.
Yeah, that's something that I always go back to, is that Justice Winslow from 2014, 2015 when Coach K shot him down. And then there's the Paolo Banchero on JJ Redick that we talked about as well, where he sat him down, talked about body language, and talked about the way that, not only other teams perceive you, but your teammates perceive you. And I think the same thing happens to Pablo's point earlier. You got to fight through these things. If you're going up there all the time, pouting, whining, you are not getting that call whether you deserve it or not. The referees are human. They're not going to give you that call. You have to make some sort of attitude adjustment to become mentally tougher, that when things aren't going your way, you're not going to just pout and give up. You got to fight through it and show leadership through your play. And the last thing I'll say, Jared McCain, if we had 10 guys that played as hard as he did every single game, we wouldn't lose a fucking game, period. That guy brings it on every single play. He is doing absolutely everything that's asked of him. I don't care if he goes over 10, if he plays the way he does, because he gives maximum effort all the time. And, I think that's really, you can say all the stuff that you want about, the nails being painted and all that kind of goofy TikTok stuff. that myself, AC, Pablo, Armando Baycott were out of that age range that Jack was talking about, the 16 to 25. So, you know what I mean? Like it's stuff that like I don't care what you do off the court. If you're fucking bringing it, I'm with you. Like and he's been fantastic. So
He's got a great attitude too, TJ.
great
I'll
attitude.
say that.
And so I think Pete put it best when he said it's not about effort, it's about attitude. And I think that's the perfect way to end that one. Kind of go into the second overreaction. AC, I'll go back to you here. Something has to change with Flip for us to reach our ceiling. You know, I think we all kind of danced around it a little bit. But does anything have to change outside of attitude for Flip? Or, you know, is there things that the staff can do to help him for us to reach our ceiling?
Yeah, go back to being that dog that you were last year where you were playing through everything when people were hitting you in the throat and stuff, and you decided to take that and use that as motivation and play the rest of the season out as hard as he did. The way he ended last season versus what he's doing now is completely different. And the stats wise, about the same. But
yeah,
the things he was doing on the floor, the way he was playing defense, the way he was attacking people, the dunks he was getting, that big dunk he had against UNC to kind of put the game away last season off the loose ball and stuff like that. That's something we hadn't seen out of him for a few games, I should say. So he had that little stretch recently where he was, you know, hitting damn near 30 points. I think he got over 30 for one of them. I mean, that's the like, be that guy. Like whatever you got to find, whatever's irking you right now, you know, go to therapy, become a Buddhist for a couple weeks, whatever you got to do, man. Whatever's gonna take to get you where you got to be and just give us March, man. I'm gonna be selfish. Let me be selfish this time, Flip. I'll be selfish. I need you to find whatever Jesus you need to find so we can get this chip.
Amen.
That's for me.
One
for
way
me,
to say
Flip.
it.
I'm gonna be selfish.
Amen.
Yeah, go ahead, Zion. What do you got on this one?
Oh yeah, I was just saying amen. But yeah, I think Flip defensively even. I think he's been, you know, okay for most of the year, solid, especially for his physical limits. I think we, as Duke fans, kind of forget that, you know, Derek Lively kind of masked a lot of people's issues last year. So, you know, now he's kind of being put in a spot where he has to be the anchor. And, you know, realistically, that's not what he's going to be doing for the rest of his basketball career. This will probably be the last point where he has to do that. But yeah, actually, go back to the the statement. What is the statement itself? I need.
It's just, you know, there's something have to change in Flip or with how we play Flip for us to reach our ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone pretty much hit it on the head. I feel like attitude is a big thing. His approach. You know, sometimes I think he goes back to his freshman issues of trying to create his shot. He actually hit the shot that I was most mad at, that step back three.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
where he sized up. I think it was over Baycott. And I was like, it went in, bro. But like, we
Don't
need
do
to,
it.
Yeah.
yeah, you need to simplify your game a little bit more, bro. But you know, I think I still have hope in him, man. I still have hope in him. I think I've been very critical of him over the year, and I think that's just based off of, you know, what we think he could be or what we know he could be, you know, what we've seen him at his peak. So I think for the first and foremost, just the attitude needs to change for sure, you know, and kind of be more of a leader that we kind of need, because Jeremy's a great leader, but, you know, the guy we need to carry us needs to lead as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
I'm going to go back to something I said when Flip was like a sophomore, I think, or junior in high school. It was a tweet about Wendell Moore. I said, Wendell Moore is a fantastic player when he doesn't try to play like James Harden. Kyle Filipowski is a fantastic player when he doesn't try to play like James Harden. I think simplify your game, go to what your strong suits are. Do not try to hit step back isolation threes. You don't need to create your own shot and do that stupid spin that you always do between the basket and the free throw line. We all know. We saw it last year. But also go back to last year. This is a dude who, like, he's this year expecting to get all these calls when last year he got punched in the throat and didn't get anything. He was fouled and they said it wasn't a foul because it happened after the buzzer, despite the ACC themselves saying, "Oops." Like all these things happened. He got screwed over so many times on calls last year and magically expected to get a friendly whistle this year. I think that's part of the attitude issue. But you got to remember what happened last year, and you got to play through that, like through that same mentality that like last year. Oh, I'm not going to get these calls. I'm going to finish the shot instead of hoping for a whistle. I'm going to play inside because I know that my team will be there. Someone's going to be there to clean up if I miss. I'm going to score. I'm going to be the best freaking player on this team because I can.
Yeah,
That's what he needs to do. He needs to simplify his game and just be the guy that we all know he can be.
D, what do you got?
The question is, does Kyle Filipowski need to do something different for Duke to be able to reach their ceiling? Abso-fucking-lutely. Excuse my language. And it's not even about attitude. If we're going to talk about skill set, where's the Filipowski that dunked over TJ Powers at Countdown? Where's that guy?
Oh, that was so sick.
Where's that guy? He full windmilled over a grown, 6 whatever man.
I thought he got it on Sean Stewart, which is even more impressive.
Stewart, yeah.
Which is okay. I thought it was Sean Stewart too, but I was like, ain't no fucking way he did it over Sean Stewart, right? But if it was over Sean Stewart, very much so more impressive. So where's that cat at? When is the light switch gonna flip and he turns it, no pun intended, and he turns in to that guy, that monster, that I'm gonna take you to the rack with the ball on my hip and I'm gonna bring the rim down with me. If and when Duke gets that Filipowski, yes, they can go to the Final Four. They can cut down the nets. They can hang a banner. Until then, to be determined.
Pablo, you get the last word here.
Man, dog, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not really that critical of Filipowski and what he's doing. I think he's playing well. He's doing what he can do. It's gonna take more than him. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you know what I'm saying? Like how much of this shit is on flip? You got to understand what are the coaches telling him to do. You know what I'm saying? So, like at the end of the day, the way I feel, like Coach Shire, he got to put Flip in the best position to succeed. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is on offense. You know what I'm saying? Where's Flip succeed at? You know what I'm saying? He's a face-up forward. You know what I mean? He could shoot the ball. You know what I mean? You put him in pick and roll. You know, he's a roll man. He's a playmaker. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Why do we look so good when we do that? But then, like, we play North Carolina and we barely do it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not, like I said, I'm not too worried about him. Only thing, like, it's just the body language thing, and that's just leadership. He just gotta grow in that area, and I think we'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm Team Flip. I'm always trying to stay positive. You know what I mean? And let these kids know that we got their back. But for us to be national champions, he's definitely gonna have to do some things better. He's gonna have to step up in some areas, but I think the coaching staff also needs to step up in those areas to empower him to do some of those things. So I don't give a fuck.
Sir.
We win the national championship, period.
And
you know what I'm saying?
To your point, Pops, to your point, we talked about what could this team's next evolution possibly be. Yep. I said this team's evolution would be to kind of slow the game down a little bit. And really what I meant by that is minimize Flip's need on defense, maximize him on offense. Those are you minimize you minimize us needing him on defense and you maximize us utilizing him on offense. You got a team that's damn near unbeatable because nobody else has 7 foot who can take you from the outside, go inside, hit threes the way he can, all that. But if you're gonna make him have to chase people over the floor like you're talking about and everything else, and you're gonna make him have to be the guy who has to get stops on defense, then that's gonna be trouble.
Yeah. I think he. I was looking at up earlier, so my math might be a little bit off. I think it was like over his last 4 or 5 games, he's something like 2 of 17 from 3. Now, we know that he's a good shooter, so I don't want him to stop taking the shots. But to your point, AC, maybe it is something that schematically we should say, you know what, we wanted to run up and down the court. maybe that's just not what we're looking for because he's not maximizing, who should be our best player, and that's Kyle Filipowski. And whether he took his conditioning or not, the fact that the matter remains that he gets winded in all of these games. He does have to play the 5 defensively for the large chunks that he's in the game. So maybe it is that we slow it down. Maybe we do mix in some zone. Maybe we do, just say we're going to play this game in the 70s and we're going to beat you a different way because we got to protect our best player. And you can see it. He's missing foul shots. He's missing threes. To me, that's tired legs.
I think I was super wrong when we started the season when I was like, I'd love to see this team around 73 possessions a game. I was absolutely wrong. Go back to last season when we were about 68 possessions a game. Slow this thing down a little bit. Slow this train down a minute. Let our guys get back on defense. Let our guys get some breath on defense a little bit.
AC, I don't even think you're wrong. I kind of had that same mindset coming into the season that this was going to be a team that was going to be running all year. But you have to factor in you can't run also when Ryan's on the court. And
maybe it's about spots. Maybe we run in spots. Like, does Sean Stewart? Can Sean Stewart? Like, can he please? Can we?
I think we could run
that way on.
I think we could run. I think with us, I think what we need to do is we need to commit to something and stick with it. Period. If we want to run, fucking run all the time, just like North Carolina. They shit. Ryan Young, he about just as fast as Armando. Shit.
They're both senior citizens.
Yeah, same age.
Commit to something and let's stick with it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's how I feel. But it's all good.
D, go ahead. You kind of side with Pablo on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's simple to say, but this Duke offense doesn't revolve around the hitting of the open threes, but it kind of does also because we're making Flip play a spot where he doesn't really want to play, in my opinion. Like, I don't think he wants to be that guy at the free throw line. I think he'd rather be the second pass, so to speak. But he's the best passer for all the bigs, so he's pushed into that role. And I don't want to say anything about his attitude anymore because I think we've already said that. We get it. But Duke's got to hit shots, man. Like Duke can't afford to go that dry from the three-point line, in my opinion. Like, Duke has to hit their threes. They have to shoot 50% from the three-point line, in my opinion.
It's like that one, was it 2001, right? Boozer goes down late in the year, and you would have thought that, a team that really only played 6 guys would have slowed it down, try to protect them. Coach K said, "Fuck that. We're gonna open it up. We'll just utilize all of our timeouts. We used to utilize the TV timeouts, and we're just gonna blitz you up and down the court." And that's what they did when they went to Carolina and knocked them around. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Zion, I'll give you the last word on this one. I mean, because we got to get to a couple previews. We could talk about all this all day long, but we got to get to a couple previews. So Zion, I'll give you the last word. How would you like to see us play?
I mean, I've been kind of in the same boat as AC. Like, all season, I've kind of wanted to speed up the pace. But I also think that in order to speed up the pace, especially at this rate, if we do speed up the pace, we have to open up our rotation because, I don't know if we're as conditioned as you can see to be running all game. But, I feel like we should have played at a higher pace. I feel like at this point, though, it is beginning of February, so I doubt we kind of see that change at any point soon. So, kind of just got to live with what we are right now.
All right, so let's believe it or not, life moves on, basketball moves on. We got 2 games that we want to preview real quick. Notre Dame, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Your boy TK will be in the house, so hopefully I can bring a little bit of mojo there, get us back. Honestly, we've already played Notre Dame, so we don't need to do a full preview of the type of team that they are. Jack, anything that you want to see specifically, or do you just want to give a prediction here?
I'm actually not going to give a score prediction. I just want to say that I want to see these guys acting like they are playing for these 4 letters. I need to see that. I need to see them play as a team, play together, and play pissed off because you just lost by 9 points to your rival, and everyone saw it, and everyone is making fun of you, and I want you to prove them wrong. And I know they want to prove everyone wrong too. People are doubting you. Your own fan base. There are people doubting you. Not to say that they're smart for doing that. I would say they're idiots, but prove the idiots wrong. Win. Win by a lot and just make a statement.
Pablo, I know you don't give score predictions, but give them a message.
Man, listen. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Win the motherfucking game. Go out here, blast these cats. Bottom line. Cut all the noise out. What we think of y'all, none of that shit don't matter. Y'all got to play for each other. We not on the court. You can't pass the ball to Pablo. You know what I'm saying? I'm not shooting from 3. You know what I mean? I'm in the goddamn stands or in my bed watching you play. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to do well. Don't care about nobody else but what y'all got on the court. That's your family right there. You know what I'm saying? Play your asses off. Go whip Notre Dame's ass. Let them know. You know what I'm saying? This is Duke basketball, bro. Fuck everybody else. That's how I do it.
Yes, sir.
Just fucking win. Just fucking win. Just fucking win. I don't care how you do it. Just win.
I can't believe we ain't
I will say real quick.
What happened to us? Go ahead, D.
No, I will say I just like enjoy watching Marcus Burton play basketball. I think he's fun to watch.
I'm a definitely give a motherfucking score prediction. You know what?
Nice.
I was wrong. I was wrong about being wrong. Yes, run the score up on these bitches. 88-57. Let's go.
Bang.
88-57. It was a horrible game last time. It was an ugly game in South Bend last time. We are at home now with a little bit of rest, with some attitude, with some attitude now behind us. Maybe it's now or never, y'all. 88-57. Let's go.
Zion, what do you
Show
got?
me something, right?
Yeah, I'm not giving no score prediction because my UNC Duke score prediction ended out ugly. So I think Duke definitely wins this one. Whether it's ugly or not, I do think we'll win by double digits. But yeah, I think this is a big game in itself, just because it's the first game you have a chance to respond, send a message that you could turn things around, and this is a big three game home stretch. Yeah, 3-game home stretch for them. So take care of business at Cameron, man, and let this be the turning point of the season.
Yeah, TCB, take care of business. I think that's what we do. I think look, this can only go one of 2 ways, right? We either respond and show what we're going to be, or we just keep doing the same old thing and hope for the best. I think this team does respond. Jack said it earlier, but the Filipowski that we had last year, attitude-wise, that's the same guy. We know that he can do that. So let's see that happen. I think the coaching staff is going to make the adjustments, make them in-house, and I think we come out, and I think we win this game 85-62. I think it's time to put up or shut up. I think that we do that. And then we got Boston College on Saturday. We haven't seen them yet, but we get them at home. This is a game that we should take care of business, knock them around a little bit. Jack, you got a prediction for this one, or are we just sticking to just win?
Win the damn game. I mean, look, it's Boston College. Like, okay, they have posts. Okay, it's Boston College. Win. Just win. Like I keep making score predictions, and I've gotten within 5 points once. That was last year against Louisville.
Never give up.
You'll get it one day, man.
I'm a little burnt out after the weekend. Just win the game.
Fair. D, we gotta get that energy back, though.
Yeah, I will say, no score prediction for Boston College. You just win, but the 3-game home stretch, I think, is huge for Duke. Like, if we talk about we need to work on anything, okay, so you're in Durham for a fucking month, pretty much, right? Well, 3 games, or 3 weeks.
He said a month.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you said.
You've got to show me that y'all have figured something out. You have thrown this wrinkle into the game plan, or show me something X's and O's wise that y'all have worked on, perfected, or gotten better at? Please. You have 3 games in Durham. You can practice all you want. You can shoot all you want. Show me some improvement. That's all I want to see.
AC.
Obviously you got the game Wednesday. This game's on Saturday, and then we have a Monday turnaround after that too. So it's the practice this week's gonna be interesting to see kind of what develops. But again, against BC, you shouldn't need it. I'm predicting, not only am I gonna predict the score of 82-64, I'm also predicting a Sean Stewart yam on somebody's head. All right.
I'd love
He's gonna have a decent. I think he's gonna have an okay game against Notre Dame.
Hey, yo.
But nuts on somebody's head, Pablo. Dragging nuts on somebody's head against Boston College. I said it. No pause.
That's crazy. Wow.
What? Okay.
Holy shit.
All right.
Well, I don't know if you need to catch your breath after that, but
Hey, yo.
Pause.
Let's go.
You gotta relax.
I had that shit up. AC, I had that shit up the whole
Let's
time.
go.
Oh, God, that was fantastic.
Let's
Thank you.
Yo,
God. That was probably my best of the year, to be honest with you.
that's a flagrant foul on you, dog. That was crazy.
Look, give me the
That was
technical.
crazy.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was wild.
All right,
Let's go.
Zion, do you got a prediction for us?
Hey, y'all wilding on here, but yeah, I think Duke takes care of business. I don't got any score prediction. I think, kind of like the quick turnaround that y'all mentioned. Just make sure I don't think it's a trap game, because at this point you should not be getting trapped after UNC. But it's definitely a game where you can't look ahead to Wake Forest, because that's obviously the bigger matchup. So I think we take care of business.
Yeah, I'm with you. 81-68. I think that we just gotta keep building, get that chip on your shoulder. Anytime that we have some adversity back in the Coach K days, Duke Blue Planet would throw out some kind of X's and O's video, pump up video. I don't know if we're gonna get anything like that, but I'd like to see it. But more than anything, Duke just has to decide who they want to be going forward. We're going to find out real quick Wednesday night. So, Zion, man, appreciate you jumping on here. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, I mean, Duke fans know where. Duke NBA on Twitter. Definitely appreciate y'all invite. This was definitely fun for sure. Hopefully I'll come back on again if y'all have me. But, love what y'all doing. Like I told y'all, keep it up. Keep doing y'all. We need more Duke content creators on here. So, keep doing y'all thing for sure.
Appreciate
Yes,
that.
sir, man. Appreciate you coming on. AC, take us away.
Look, pick yourselves up, Duke Nation. Like, all this moping and all this talking about we can't. No, that's not. You talk about bringing the standard. I hear people talking about, oh, Duke's a higher standard. Bring yourself up to a standard. Bring yourself up to a damn standard. Stop playing in the dirt. Let's go. We up here. Come up here with us, man. Y'all get about the dirt. Let's go, Duke, baby. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, everywhere. It's all free. Sign up.
Discord.
Do it all. Do the whole damn thing.
Yeah, we're on the Discord
We
now.
got the Discord now with the Patreon. Come on. The only way you can get to the Discord, though, is by getting on Patreon. You can't be sneaking in the back door.
Oh,
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Let's go. Yeah.
That's an ejection.
Let's
No,
go.
that's an ejection.